the fact was that one fall from because of that one fall from close beside, death reigned. Now, what is death? Well, we know what death, we die and we leave the body and things like that. But the real meaning of death is separation. When you die, you separate from something.
Yeah.
Okay. It can be the death of your body, where you are separated from your body. You could be the death of a marriage, divorce.
Yeah.
That's death. You could
Yeah.
be death of finances. You go bankrupt. Okay. So death is separation from something that you don't want to be separated from normally.
Yeah.
Um, and so death, separation reigned by means of the one man. Okay, I hate the word through. It means by means of when it's in this case.
Yeah.
Um, so the death reigned, that separation reigned. Why did the separation reign? Because the separation was caused because Adam and Eve listened to the enemy, the serpent, and they kept hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing it, and they finally believed that what the serpent was saying was the truth. And that caused a split in their body of knowledge because up until that time, they had only known truth. They had only known what God said was real. But
Yeah.
now they're knowing something else, and it causes a separation internally. They separated internally. I mean, if you think about it, where did God go? Did God disappear? Um, what, what changed?
Yeah.
Their minds, what
Yeah.
they saw, what they believed. It,
Yeah.
they were set. They died to themselves. They were separated from themselves. They were separated from each other because they had different mindsets now. They didn't have. They weren't knowing and believing the same things. They were knowing and believing something different. And and that just happened generation after generation after generation. And
Mhm.
so the separation reigned through that one fall from close beside, that
Mhm.
one trip and fall, and it was over with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So then, um, much more, it says, will those who receive God's abundant provision of grace, this is New International Version, um, who receive God's abundant provision of grace and of the gift of righteousness, reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ. So then we go on to much more. Um, this this is one of the things in Greek Greek will put a definite article and a substantive, a noun, or an adjective. Um, and so that'll be the subject. Let's see. So in this particular verse, the definite article, the, is uh, referring to the word receiving.
Mhm.
Okay. But the thing is that in between the and the receiving is a description of what the receiving is.
Okay.
It's just the way Greek does, and
Sure.
once you get used to it, it's easy. But
Yeah.
you got to pay attention to it. The abundance. Okay, so the receiving, and here's what the receiving is doing. Uh, they're receiving the abundance of the grace. All right, and the uh, abundance of the gift of righteousness. So they're receiving the abundance of the grace and the abundance of the gift of righteousness. Lee, this is such a massive verse. I've spent decades on this verse. Um, so first of all, we got to understand all the translations say that uh, they were receiving the grace of God, but that's not true. The Greek, the word means the taking.
Hmm.
It means the taking. It doesn't mean receiving. If you're waiting to receive, well, then, okay, let's just take this verse and let's assume that it means to the receiving the grace of God. How do I receive it? I don't know. I'm waiting. If I'm receiving, I'm waiting for it to be given, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I you've offered something. Here, I want it. I want give it to me. No, I've God says He's given it to us. Well, that's because the word actually is in the active voice, and it means to take. It's a participle, so the ing is correct,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an active voice. If it's receiving, then it's passive.
Mm.
So if the word really is receiving, then it has to be in the passive voice, and it's not. It's in the active voice, which means it's taking.
Mm.
So he's Paul is saying that those that take the grace of God and take the gift of righteousness will reign. This is major.
Yes.
This is major. I've never heard anybody translate this correctly.
Hmm.
Never. Every
Yeah.
translation, I mean, there may be somebody that does, I just haven't seen them or heard them. But
Right.
we're waiting to receive something. No, you have to take it. Now, the reason this came up just now is because of something you said a few moments ago. I wish I remember what it was. Um, because it was active voice, you were talking about taking something. And if if we're going to get what God has given us,
Mm-hmm.
which is his Christ, which
Mm-hmm.
is himself, then we've got to take it because it's already ours.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to take it. How do we take it? We take it by believing it's ours.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. You don't have
Yeah.
to do anything. You just have to
Right.
say, God, you gave it to me. It's mine. I
Yeah.
got it. I take it. That's
Mm.
it. There's nothing else to it. But you plant yourself there. I'm taking the grace of God all the time. I'm taking it. I don't know how. I don't feel it. I don't see it, but I am taking it because I'm telling you, Father, I'm taking it. It's mine.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't hold it back from me. You can't keep it from me. You can't twist it or anything else. Your grace is mine, and I take it. And also, I take the gift of righteousness. Remember, the word righteousness means a right nature. So
Mm.
I take the gift of a right nature.
Yeah.
Now, how can I be taking the grace of God and the gift of righteousness? Well, I mean, what is the grace of God? See, this is, oh man, the grace of God is God Himself giving Himself to us to live inside of us and live His life inside of us as us. That is grace. God is giving Himself to us. You remember in old time stories, people would be talking to the king and they'd say, Your grace. They call
Yep.
the king Your grace.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they do that? Because the king owned everything. All of it was his. And so you call him grace because you're wanting him to give you what all belongs to him. If he gives you something, it still belongs to him.
Yeah.
In those days where there was kings, I mean, they could change their mind in a second. It would not be yours any longer. They
Right.
But that's what grace is. Grace is God giving his heart, giving himself, his mind, giving everything about him to us,
Mm.
live inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life we have now. We are vessels.
Yeah.
We are not what fills the vessels. We are the vessels. What fills the vessels is God Himself with His life, unique to each one of us, so that each one of us is a different picture of God because he's living his life in us, but it's unique to each one of us. So there will never be anybody like me, and there will never be like anyone like you. Okay? Maybe similar, but never will there be like even twins are
Yeah.
not exactly the same.
Right.
It's amazing. God
Mm-hmm.
poured out himself to live inside of us. And it says that when we take this grace of God, which is, I just take it, it's mine, I got it. Teach me, Father. Teach me who I am. I want to know who I am. I want to know, who do you think I am?
Yeah.
Teach me who you think I am. I want to be knowing who you think I am, and I will be happy forever.
Yes. Oh, and it's so easy and so hard, but only because we make it
It's
hard.
it's hard because emotionals. I can tell you that
Yeah,
our emotions
yeah,
are the most wonderful thing we have, but at the same time, they're the vulnerability we have.
right. They're yes, they're the place all the best things are and the place all the worst things are too, depending on
Yeah.
how they're being used.
Yeah. Well, the enemy knows how we work, and
Yeah,
so he's constantly peppering us with thoughts that we have been hearing oftentimes for so long we
yeah,
no longer even recognize them. They are part of our thinking, and
right.
those thoughts are literally causing us to create when we accept those thoughts, and
Mhm.
oftentimes we don't even know we're doing it. But what happens? We accept the thoughts, which causes us to create our own emotions. So
Yeah,
every one of us, I can blame him for making me angry. No, he may have done something that I decided to be angry about, but
yeah,
I create my own emotions, every one of them.
yeah,
They're just chemicals in my body, and
yeah.
they're a result of the things that I am knowing and believing that are true and not true.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can see this is, I've wanted to get into here, and I still haven't even gotten into the subject, believe it or not.
Sure.
Um, but I'm doing pretty good. I feel pretty good about this. You
Yeah.
know,
Good.
um,
Me too.
this
Yeah,
is,
I agree. It's opening up things that I'm remembering, and we want to say them as best as we can. And but yeah, it's very it is big, and gosh, yeah. I was thinking about the um the little picture we talked about the other day. How I said if you were a country and you were wanted to fight another country, and I said I'll give you one of two weapons. One is a nuclear arsenal and you can obliterate your enemy pretty easily. But the other weapon is a device that will allow you to put whatever ideas into the mind of
yes,
your
I
enemy
remember.
country that you want, and you can make them think whatever. 100 times out of 100, that country's going to choose the mind device, because
Yeah,
then you can win that war without firing a shot.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can make those people turn on each other and themselves, and that's how Satan works. And I'm thinking back to the enemy. I'm thinking back to the healing piece, and I hear you saying we've got these gifts. They're great. They're for us. We take them. And I was thinking, I've got a brother-in-law in the hospital right now.
yeah,
Had a heart attack, and I'm thinking, okay, I can ask God. I can tell God I'm taking this healing that you gave and giving it over here to Him. Um, but even inside myself, however it got there, is that you'd be fooling yourself a little bit. That's,
yeah,
yes, you can, but you can't. And that's the battle. And it's um I don't want to give it too much credit. Like because it feels hard, and it is hard, and it is impossible, but at the same time it's super simple, and it gets complicated because of all the stuff we know that
yeah,
prevents us from seeing it really clearly, because yeah, God said what he said and he meant it, and it's very, very simple, but at the same time it's with the fracturing of our minds and beliefs, it becomes very complicated. And as soon as you determine, you go, oh, and yeah, I want to stay in that place of, because I felt it for a minute. I just, oh, then I'll just ask my dad. My dad'll That's fine. I'll just ask my dad and then he'll do it.
Yeah.
And and I have those moments, and I'm sure you do, and a lot of people do. But then you get kind of knocked off of it so easily. Not easily, but there's always an attempt to knock you off of it.